Hello and welcome to another episode from your boy Shady. Whoa, 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 whoa. Today we're gonna react to one of the guys I've been featuring in my news video yesterday, Breakout Master. He is pretty new in the community, but he's been popping up and he's doing good stuff. And the reason why I want to do that is because I think he has a game style you can actually practice and adopt, and in a couple of months you can eventually get to his level. So let's go. I'm gonna react to the "if you kill me I'll use your loadout" video. Maybe you have already seen it because this video is pretty popular. It got more than 40,000 views, and basically what he's doing, he's starting with a vector, and then if he gets killed he picks up or dresses up exactly in the exactly same way as the guy who killed him. And I didn't see the whole video. I actually started watching the video and then I decided to react to it because I like the playstyle. So first and foremost, it's already striking that he is not just pushing and rushing and running, which results in a quick kill. This is one of my major issues, problems, mistakes. I just run too often and I don't walk. But this, what he had, happens pretty often to me as well.
Like I'll have to adapt my playstyle significantly for this one. Stairwell spawn. What are the stats of this gun?
I think when he started using this loadout, he was thinking that this is not gonna work. I guess he doesn't often play with Ace 31. Nice first kill. I think what he's leveraging the most is that he is trying to stay low, stay quiet, and understand like what's happening around him. And then it's all about the right timing. Like in the first kill of this game, he was just standing there. He knew that the enemy is running, and in order to make it successful, what you want to do or what you not want to do is basically don't make noise. Because if you make noise, then the enemy is going to know that you are here. And he is really good in that. He is...
Squad above me, then
he's trying to attack by surprise.
This is a different squad.
The second kill's loot was taken by his teammate who ran away. This gives me a small window to loot my kill fast.
And maybe you have already noticed, but Kai's is doing something very similar when he is preparing for the fight. So every time there is an enemy close, it's not Breakout Master who is running into the side of the enemy. He repositions and then always crouches. I think like 99% of the time he crouches, like now, and he waits for the enemy to run into his line of sight. This is really important. Again, he was moving a bit to the other side and again crouching and holding the angle. This is something I talked about with Ragaboom the other day, and you need to keep practicing that. You need to keep practicing that because this is going to be the key to success. You see again? No, now he was pre-firing and he didn't expect the nade to come. So this wasn't the best, his best move ever. But generally speaking, try to do that. You don't need to crouch, but you should be always the one being prepared to start shooting, okay? Because the other guy who is shooting, the other guy who is running, it's just harder. You need to have a much better reaction time if you are the one who is running, and then you need to, to basically with your brain understand where your enemy is and then aim. The other guy who is just sitting there or crouching there is always going to have the advantage. And it doesn't mean that you need to like sit down in a corner. It's more like you rotate, you position yourself, you hold the angle, crouch and hold the angle. And then again, if nothing happens within the next couple of seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds, then you reposition again, crouch and shoot, or crouch and hold the angle and shoot at the time when you see the enemy. This is something which might have been covered in other guides already, like
Time to
PvP
zoom
guides,
in all
but
this
I don't
speed. You know
recall
what?
any of them.
I may have judged this gun too early. It's actually quite good.
Yeah, here he says that the Ace-31 is actually better than what he thought, what he expected. Again, you know, he's not making noise. This is how he got the first kill. And he was the one crouching, holding angle. Crouching, holding angle. This got him a first kill, and he doesn't really make much noise,
challenge.
except if he runs from one location to the other, and then he holds angle again, as you can see. Reposition. This didn't went too smooth. This is why he got some damage. But he's not constantly pushing. I would say that he is like,
Okay,
I don't know,
final verdict
passively
on Road 1.
aggressive.
I'm giving it a 3.5
Because
out of
he
5.
is getting
The
close to the
31
enemy,
itself is decent,
but he
this
is not the
specific
one
build just
actually
felt
starting the
oddly
attack.
aggressive.
He just said that the I think he ran out of mag, or his gun jammed or something. But he was saying that the Ace-31 is like more of a
Spawn at the
passive
general
gun.
office, and if you have
Now
the
he's
key,
running with the
you
full
already know what to do.
D5 and no helmet. I think he's not gonna drastically change the playstyle.
Oh no, I might be dead.
That was amazing, bro. I mean, closing the door to avoid additional nades. If I would be him, then by this time the enemy would have already opened the door and shot me. Yeah, which they actually did. But he was having enough time to heal up and then, you know, at least continue the fight, and then kill one of the guys.
God.
Very good understanding of sound prints. He knew that the enemy is on the right side. Despite of having everything else that is happening on TV station, he was just purely focusing on that one single footstep which was close to him, and he knew that he's on the right hand side. And he knew that there are no more enemies, because when they opened the door, it was two of them attacking them. He shot one of the guys and then the other one. Like, again, timing, guys. I think he even heard that the enemy started using painkiller injection, or, you know, started healing or something. There was that sound.
Time to sneak up. They're fighting at
Time to sneak up. So that this is something which requires patience and discipline. Patience and discipline. Timing. You see, the enemy was occupied with the bot, which is, if you play this too slow, then the enemy shoots the bot. He realizes that there's a sound print coming from the left, and then
Wow.
Almost went back to the lobby.
wow, yeah, I would have gone back to the lobby for sure. Even if I start shooting the enemy, I felt like I'm just a tiny bit slower, and because of that, I would have shot, you know, 2 ammunition less or something like that, and then I think I would have died here. But back to the previous kill where he was attacking the guy within the director's lobby.
But dangerous.
So if he would have played this more slowly, then he would have died, because the enemy would have seen that he's coming. So it was
This is the
perfect
opposite of the
timing.
last one. We've got a kitted MK14 and the BT-201 full body armor. Basically a walking tank.
We have a very cute
Yeah.
gun right here, guys.
Okay, I'm curious
backstage.
about this. I'm
Looking
curious
for
about
early
this.
kills. As
Because for
usual,
me, T6, you know, it doesn't make a huge difference. If you're basically being shot from the side, it's not making a huge difference. Again, he knew it. The enemy didn't know. Compared to Kai's and compared to Yusef and many of these guys who are pushing, Breakout Master is more on the side of Shade. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's like a expression for that in the community. It's absolutely not ratting. So he's just he's slow playing it whenever he has to play it
Defense
slow.
nearby.
But when he needs to switch the pace because there's a fight incoming, then he can speed up, and then he's pushy and even rushing. It depends on the situation, but by default, you know, he's quiet. He's just creep walking, crouching, and I would think that in majority of the games or fights, he attacks at the time when the enemy doesn't expect him to attack. In most cases, they don't even know that he's there.
Ran into my sights.
You saw that? He actually said that, ran into my sights. That's what I was saying. In most of the games, I die because I'm the noob guy who is running into the side of the enemy player. And for that, what you need to practice is, I mean, obviously you need to understand the map. Your map awareness needs to be high to understand where we have the spawns, but that's just very basic stuff. And then you have to position yourself, you know, at a location where most likely somebody is going to pass or somebody is going to run, and then all you gotta do is to crouch and then just lean like this on the shoot button whenever somebody comes into your line of sight. This could have gone slightly better because I think he expected
That
one or
escalated so fast, bro.
one or two people, but I think he didn't
But
expect
good thing I checked this first.
the last guy. So this was I'm not saying luck, but maybe with a T4 he would have died here. So the T6 definitely helped him in this fight. But the base concept of how he was setting up the attack was pretty much the same. Crouching, you know, creep walking, and then just at the right time leaning out and
just
shooting.
Like that, my mountain of loot gone in a blink of an eye. Giving loadout tree a 3.5 out of 5. It's undeniably powerful. But that
Yeah.
weight, the mobility is just too punishing for my style. Okay, loadout 4
Mobility.
seems much more
I don't
balanced. Looks
I don't
like
know
it's
why
flying
he
all
was
around
saying
here.
that, because he's not like you know, pushing and quickly. I mean, he can definitely do that. This
glad I
attack
saw
was an example where he's like tactically pushing, but what I saw until now, he's more, you know, sneaky, like having that Sage style. But nobody likes to have heavy armor because of the speed of the movement. Even if you are not that pushy, you don't like that because it feels like, you know, it. I don't really get that, guys. If I would have been in that corner, then a T5 guy just peeks into the you know, into the room and directly looks at me and kills me with one shot.
There was a player?
I always have the feeling, and I see it also in the comments, that many of you have the feeling that creators, good creators and good, you know, players are
Oh my god.
playing against
What is
bots.
everyone doing?
And as you can hear, he's actually saying, what is everyone doing? Usually I don't have that. And I think the reason it happens with him is that, as I said multiple times, he is not making too much noise and the enemy just doesn't know that he is there. Did he actually kill someone? Did he actually kill someone? Did he actually fucking kill someone through the door? And this is forbidden, by the way. So based on the loadouts, based on my experience, I can definitely tell you that this is not lockdown. There are no basic kit guys. Everybody is running good, you know, good weapons.
All according to plan.
So I gotta, you know, stop here for a moment and just put it out there. So he is killed. It's not just about, you know, tactics, and also on the because of the extraction timer, you can see it's forbidden. So he's not just skilled. He's not just winning because he's tactical. He is really good from all aspects.
Doesn't know.
And the reason why I wanted to make a reaction in first place is what I said at the beginning. This is a game style that you can actually adopt. So even if you're a Timmy, even if you are not highly geared, then it's still something you can practice. The most important part, again, now that we have a bit of time, the most important part is that you shouldn't do unnecessary noise. And then if there are enemies around, you should be always the one, holding the angle, like crouching and holding the angle and wait for them to run into your crosshair. And if it doesn't happen, or if you revealed your position, then change your position, run to the other side of the box or hallway or whatever. But then again, crouch and hold the angle. Again, he's staying low. This is what he's leveraging all of the time. Sound prints and footsteps. Most of the time, this is what he's leveraging. Okay, he has also good nading skills. Because what he just did with the nade is something you definitely gotta practice. It doesn't come like, by installing an arena breakout that you can throw nades like this. This was a nice bait, by the way. He was pretending to run, to run, and then he just turned around because he knew the enemy is gonna chase him. But he's really making the game look easy. And once you master these skills, then it's gonna be definitely more easy for you.
It's not flashy, but it's solid and well-rounded. And loadout 5. Okay, this is a high-tier foul build. Looks like an upgrade from loadout 2. Spawned at the backstage. Walked all the way to the first floor beside the
yeah, it's pretty much this loadout what he's running now is pretty close to what he was running previously, with the exception that there he had T5, now he has T4, and it was a 1x scope, now he has a 2x scope. If I would be running full, then I would be preferring the 2x scope. 1x for me, it's just forcing me into close range combat, and I'm not really good in that. This is also something people should understand and consider, like what works for you. Are you good? Are you good in close combats?
Oh my god.
Because then, it's gonna define. It should be defining your weapon choices and loadout choices. Breakout Master and many of the other guys seem to be good with all of the loadouts. Not necessarily all of them, because I think the guys you are mainly watching, the guys who are playing TV Station and Armory and do like action-packed videos, they don't really snipe. I mean, I think for them it's like pretty boring. So I'm not sure if Breakout Master is good in sniping. I'm sure he can snipe, I'm not saying that. But every player has, a play style he or she is best in. For me, unfortunately, I had to figure out that it's not close range. It's not close range.
++ value runs of my life. Double curse.
For me, it's more like mid-range, and eventually long range. The opposite of what iStream is usually saying, because he keeps saying that mid-range he just simply sucks. For me, this range, like how he just killed the bot, that's like ideal. If the enemies are too close, especially if we have like movement left to right, I think for me it's just too hard to just to accurately track down the enemy. Sometimes I have the feeling that I run into a room, I know that there's an enemy inside, I don't have the patience to wait until that guy comes out, therefore I'm the one running into the room, and when I already enter the room, like run through the door, I already know that I'm gonna die, because your brain needs to understand like where the enemy is, like precisely. And then you gotta aim, and sometimes I'm even looking into the wrong direction because I have the assumption that he's gonna be on the right, but he's on the left, so it can definitely happen. What's the learning? guys, and don't do that. So if you're not good at something, then don't force yourself into it. Just
Oh my God.
just create a play style which works, and there are many. Believe me, you can do all kind of things. Breakout Master, he is faster in thinking
Almost got sent back to
than
the lobby because of the bots. But good thing
than
he
most
true.
of the
Extracted
players.
and took the
He
small break.
is always like one step ahead or two steps ahead based on what I see. Many of his kills happen because he's already standing there by the time the enemy is like quickly rotating.
Of course, this is gonna be a good
you
one.
could you could see that because the guy thought that, okay, I couldn't kill him from from that little room, so I'm gonna jump down and then throw a nade. But by the time he was trying to do that, Breakout Master was already there. I'm also sure that Arena Breakout is not the first game he plays, so he must have been playing other games. You can definitely see that he has some kind of experience. Most of these guys, obviously come from PUBG or COD Mobile, mainly PUBG, because PUBG requires a bit more, I would say, a bit more tactical play. Interesting kill. Seeing this video makes me wanna play Forbidden TV Station, because for some weird reason I was always
couldn't
playing
swipe
Lockdown.
harder left
Sometimes I tried Forbidden
my
Zone,
foot was
and
hitting the
then I got rushed by like T5, T6 players, like 1 versus full squad, or I had Timmy random players and I died. And then I always thought like, okay, I'm not gonna force myself into Forbidden. But seeing this video,
There's 2 of them.
I feel like that I could eventually get to this stage or get to this level. I'm surely gonna need some practice, but it's not impossible. He's not having a movement or a playstyle which is absolutely not adaptable. Because if we would be watching Kai's, Kiwi, Umed, or Youssef, Trashy, so these guys, they just play differently. They play faster, and I feel like I will never get to that level no matter what I do. Like physically I cannot be that fast. But Breakout Master and also Shady, these 2 guys, they play in a way which is actually doable. Same for Samivan, by the way. Yeah, and as you can, I like that he's very transparent and actually also
Well-rounded, and that
show
foul
the
build is
bad
arguably
stuff.
Perfect. All right, time for the final results. After
Yeah, we
surviving
got to the end of the
9
video.
almost
Let's
enemy
see
kits,
what
which
he
ones
says.
came out on top. For bringing in the most loot and surviving the longest, the clear winner was Loadout 5. But if we're talking pure operator kills, Loadout 4 took the crown. If you were curious about that first setup I used before the challenge kicked off, that was a Vector and I featured in my cheap versus expensive Dum Dum Guns comparison. You can see how it performed against the others right here. What kind of crazy...
Okay, so ultimately we got to the conclusion that he's also saying that the fall is the ultimate meta in the game. I agree, but is it worth for me to invest like 5 million or 6 million or 10 million or 15 million to get slightly better with the fall? The answer might be yes. So maybe I'm gonna try it again. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for listening to my opinion. Keep rocking in Kamona. Shoot, loot, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye.